Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to remote learning, boys and girls. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying your holidays at home. Along with that, you should also perform your classwork which is assigned to you. So, whenever we assign some assignment or any kind of work, you should do it timely and submit it timely in the Google Classroom. Today is the third lesson of this Google Classroom session. I hope you are enjoying this session as well. And before I start our today's third lecture, I would like you people to keep your copies, books and stationery items with you so that you may do the assignment after once we are finished with this lesson. Thank you. So girls and boys, we were talking about the materials. We have talked about the materials which can bend, which can be turned, which can be twisted. We have also discussed that some materials are very flexible. They can be turned into different shapes, while some others which are very hard, they cannot be changed into other shapes very easily. We also studied that some materials are naturally found, for example, wood, gold, water, and so many others. Some materials are found in nature, so they are naturally found materials, but some other materials are made from them. For example, cotton is a natural material. We can make cardigans, curtains, cloths, linens, and so many other things out of the cotton. Cotton is a crop with the white fluffy ball like flowers or on it, and those are spun to form the thread. Anyhow, this is how the cotton, which is natural material, is changed into man-made materials like shirts, your uniform, your clothes, towels, linens, curtains, and so many others. Similarly, wood can be used to make furniture, doors, windows, and so many other things. Now, we also have discussed that some are flexible materials and some are non-flexible. I showed you a few days back on the first lesson of your Google Classroom that there are so many materials around us. Some of them can be bent very easily. Some of them can be turned, but some are very hard to be turned. Let me show you some other more examples. For example, let me take the example of this pencil. This is made up of wood. I can't turn it, I can't bend it, and it cannot be changed into some other shape easily until unless I sharp it or I cut it. Okay, so this is how this pencil cannot change its shape. Now, if I talk about rubber materials like this, look at this squishy. This is made up of some rubber material. So these are flexible, but they cannot be changed into other shape, but they are flexible. You can squash them. They can be easily squashed. Let me see some other things like this. They can be easily squashed. You can squash them. Okay, and in the same way, I have also shown you this balloon. It can be easily squashed so that its shape is changed. It can be turned into flat shape and it can be easily squashed like this. So it can be flat only when we will release its gas. So this is how this ball this balloon is easily squashable. So some other materials are also here. I will show you one by one. This is made up of paper, so it can be folded and turned like this. Similarly, this ducky, again this is very flexible, made up of rubber, so it can be turned easily. There are so many others with me. I'll show you. They are all made up of rubbers or some kind of other materials which are easily squashable. Look at this. So there are so many. I'll show you all so that you may check them. And this is a metallic box, and this is quite hard. You can't change its shape. If I try to squash it, it is not easily squashable. Okay, so it is very hard to be squashed. So look at this little birdie. This is also very flexible. Look at this. It is little bit dino. And this is pitch potch. You have seen such other example. This is what? Can you name it? This is what? Tell me its name. And this is Cookie Monster, and that was Elmo, by the way. Elmo and Cookie Monster, and there are so many others. Now they are man-made, but they are easily squashable. Look at this little hen, Chicky, and so many others. These are all squashable, flexible, foldable, so we can fold them, we can turn them, we can easily squash them. Similarly, there is balloon. This is flat, and you can compare it with this balloon which is filled. Once I will press it, it is again flat, but when until unless I take out its whole air, it is not easily flat. So let me show you some more things. This bracelet, take the example of this bracelet. You can see that it is having some elastic inside, so it is easily you can say stretched. So this is stretchable, and it can be stretched into bigger size like this, and it becomes smaller when we release it. In the same way, this squishy, this is a little cushion. Again, this is very squishy. One more thing that I want to show you, that is a sponge. I do have a sponge, that is my makeup sponge, and again this is very soft, flexible. It is very flexible. It can be changed into smaller size by folding it, but after that it can be turned back to its shape. So anyhow, I showed you few examples of some things which are easily squashable and elastic. Some are very hard, some cannot be turned into different shapes. So we have many other examples around us. So let me tell you about this page 26 of your skill book. Open this page, write down today's date. Today is 7/3/24, and let's start. Look at the sponge. As I have shown you the sponge right now a moment back, this is elastic, mean it can be flexible. So you have two options. You have to put a tick on the right option. If it is elastic, then put a tick here. If it is not elastic, then put a cross here. In the same way, you have paper. So paper, you can easily check that paper is easily foldable. Once you cut it, you may change its shape. In the same way, a paper can be turned, or it can be you can be made into smaller size, or sometimes it can be folded to make something. And there are so many other things which can be done with the paper. So let me show you the paper and a strip of paper. Look at this paper. This can be folded like this. It can be turned into a smaller size like this, and so many other things can be done with this paper. So paper is again very stretchable, elastic. It is non-elastic, but it can be turned and folded. Similarly, rubber band. Rubber band can be stretched, so it is elastic. Paper cannot be stretched, it is not elastic. Sponge can be stretched, that is why it is elastic. But paper is not elastic. Okay. Then rubber band. I showed you the rubber band. Look at this. This can be stretched, and in the same way the balloon, which is also made up of some stretchable material, you can see it. It is stretchable anyhow. So both of these things, they are stretchable. So they are elastic, and we will put a cross on the option of non-elastic. Now paper clip is made up of metal, as I have shown you all the metallic things like this. They cannot be changed into their shape. Anyhow, if you try to turn it, squash it, they cannot be easily folded or stretched. So they are non-elastics. So try to bend, stretch, squash or twist the objects. If they go back to their shape, they are elastic. Were you right? Yes, I have shown you so many things, and you have also observed by watching them that the elastic objects go back to their shapes. Anyhow, let me talk about some more examples. Open your skill book, page number 27 now. Now again, we are talking about the same things. This page, again, you have to write down your name and date at the top of this page number 27. I am telling you again, this is your skill book. So boys and girls, now find and test 3 other objects. I am telling you about some other objects like elastic one, rubber band. I told you rubber band. I have also shown you rubber band. Then elastic, spring, sponge. There are few examples which could be at your home as well. So they are all elastic because they all can change their shape very easily. Similarly, wood, paper, fiber and plastic, they are non-elastic. I have shown you all these. I have shown you pencil, which is made up of wood. We have seen right now about the paper and fiber. For example, I showed you some things which are made up of strings or cotton. So they are non-elastic. And in the same way, some materials which are made up of plastic, for example, these things, they cannot be stretched or they cannot be folded or stretched. So anyhow, these are non-elastic things. Now there is this little assignment as well on page number 28. Again, you have to write down the date on page 28. Look at the melting candle. I hope all of you might have seen the candle. Now when the candle start burning, some part of it start melting as well. It turns itself into liquid. So this part turns into liquid, and then the remaining becomes solid. Once you turn off the flame, again this liquid part becomes solid as well. So label this part as liquid and this part as solid. So wax is very soft, but when we make it into the shape particular, then it become a little bit hard. But when we burn some candle, the wax start melting, and anyhow then it can melt down in the form of liquid. Once it is cooled down, it becomes solid again. So again, this is a material which can turn from liquid to solid form as well. Now lastly, another page of for today, as we have double lesson today, so we will do a little more assignment. That is, again, you have to write down date at the top of this page. Today's date. Now take an ice cube and watch it melts. You can do it at home. You have to take an ice cube and let it be placed in the bowl. You will see that after some time it will melt and it will turn into liquid phase. So how can you make the water turn back into the solid ice? So what will you do? I think you can answer it well. First of all, we took some cubes of ice and then placed them in the bowl. After some time they turn into liquid. So how can we convert this liquid back into the solid? Yes, you are right. You have to place it in a cube box and then place that cube box in the freezer. You will get it back. So how can you make the water turn back into solid ice? by making it colder. This option is wrong. This is right option by make it cooling colder, and this option heat it, that is wrong option. So anyhow, this was your assignment for today, as we have double lesson today. So we did uh, 2 pages, and more than two were the little assignments. So anyhow, this is your classwork of today's online class. What you have to do these pages and then submit them timely in the Google Classroom. Inshallah, we will see each other very soon. Till then, Allah Hafiz.